Some developers are doing the best work of their lives right now. Others feel the ground moving under them. The difference is not talent, and it is not years on the job. It is 10 skills almost nobody is teaching. I have spent 25 years building software and training developers from their first day to senior, and I am going to hand you all 10. Stay with me, because number 9 is the one that changes how the whole industry sees you. Let's go. Number 1, trust but verify. Never blindly accept the answer. Here is the opportunity hiding inside a trap, especially early in your career. The AI gives you code that runs, you paste it in, it works, you move on. You just skip the best free education you will ever get. The single highest leverage habit you can build right now is using AI to deepen your understanding instead of to skip it. Researchers measured the trap. Developers using AI felt 20% faster and were actually 19% slower on real tasks in their own code bases. Why? Because they stopped to untangle output they did not understand. Speed you cannot verify is not speed. It is debt you take on without noticing. So flip it, and the same tool becomes a superpower. When the model hands you something, do not just ask, does it run? Ask it why. Ask what it would do differently. Ask what it got wrong. You have the most patient senior engineer who ever lived sitting right next to you. The developers who use AI to genuinely understand are going to grow faster than any generation before them. That is not a threat. That is the most exciting head start a junior has ever been handed. Number 2, become the best code reviewer in the room. Your whole career, you were told the way to get ahead is to write more code faster. That advice quietly changed. Developers today already spend more time reviewing code than writing it because the machine generates most of it. The bottleneck moved from typing speed to judgment speed, and judgment is the skill that actually compounds over a career. Reading code you did not write fast and knowing instantly whether it is right used to be a senior-only superpower. Now it is the entire job, which means you can build the most valuable skill in software starting today instead of waiting a decade for it. And here is the part that makes review a growth engine. AI-written pull requests come back with almost twice the review findings of human-only ones. Somebody has to catch those. Be the person who can. Practice it on purpose. Every week, pull up a chunk of code from a system you do not know, your own AI's output included, and force yourself to figure out what it does and where it breaks. That muscle is what turns a junior into the person a team cannot run without. Number 3, debug like a detective. When AI-generated code fails, and it fails in a specific way, it is almost right. 2/3 of developers say the thing they wrestle with most in AI output is exactly that. Code that looks correct and is subtly wrong. That is the hardest kind of bug there is, and being the one who can crack it is a genuine edge. You cannot brute force those. You need a method, form a hypothesis, test it, eliminate it, binary search the problem space until the bug has nowhere left to hide. This is the oldest skill in software, and it just became one of the most valuable. Because the machine produces plausible wrong answers faster than any human ever could, and you get to be the one who finds the crack. That is a great thing to be known for. Number 4, and this is the big one, master your harness, not just your IDE. 10 years ago, the developers who pulled ahead were the ones who truly knew their tools. Not just opened the IDE, knew it. Every shortcut, every debugger feature, the whole machine. While everyone else hunted through menus, they moved at the speed of thought. Mastering your IDE was a real career edge, and it was available to anyone willing to put in the reps. That edge just moved to fresh ground, which means it is wide open again. Today, the tool that separates the fast from the slow is your harness. The rules, the memory, the skills, and the context you build around your AI. Everyone has the same models. You have the same Claude and the same GPT as the engineer next to you. So the model is not your advantage. What you wrap around it is, and that part is entirely in your hands. And almost nobody has built it yet. which is exactly why now is the moment. By default, 60 to 70% of an AI tool's real capability sits unused. Most people are paying for a sports car and driving it in first gear. The engineer who configures a real harness, governance rules, persistent memory, reusable skills will out-leverage the one on default settings for years. Same lesson your mentors gave you about the IDE. New tool, much bigger payoff, and the field is still empty. Go claim it. Number 5, stop prompting, start specifying. 2 years ago, everyone rushed to learn prompt engineering. That skill got commoditized fast. The real skill underneath it never did. Specification. Being able to say exactly what done looks like. An agent does not need to be told how to do the task. It needs to understand what success is. And most failures are not the model being dumb. They are the spec being vague. 88% of companies use AI, and 95% of their pilots deliver nothing measurable. That gap is almost never the algorithm. It is the spec. Here is the test I use. Write your requirement, then ask, if 2 different people read this, do they build the same thing? If the answer is no, your agent is going to guess, and it is going to guess wrong. The people who can turn fuzzy intent into a precise outcome are about to be the most valuable in the building, and it is a skill you can start sharpening on your very next ticket. Number 6, orchestrate, don't implement. The role is shifting from the person who writes the steps to the person who directs the system that writes the steps. The future belongs to orchestrators, and that is a far more powerful seat to sit in than the one we had before. What does that look like? A developer is no longer running one task. They are directing a handful of agents at once, each on a different piece, and stitching the results together. The teams doing this well ship multiples more per engineer. But there is a catch, and learning to handle it is where the craft lives. An agent with no real stopping condition is a bug wearing a costume. A loop that checks, or the test screen, is worth 10 loops that check, does this look good to the model? Your job as the orchestrator is to give every agent a real exit, a hard ceiling, and a human checkpoint before anything irreversible. You are not the typist anymore. You are air traffic control, and that is a much bigger thing to be. Number 7, keep your fundamentals sharp. Git, production, how systems actually work. There's a tempting lie going around that AI means you can skip the basics. It is exactly backwards, and seeing why is freeing. When the machine writes the code, the fundamentals are no longer just how you produce. They are how you catch what it gets wrong, which makes every hour you ever spent learning them pay off again. The worst outages I have seen in AI-built software ship inside the change someone decided was too small to check. If you understand version control at the command line, how deployments actually work, how data really moves through a system, you can review what the agent hands you with confidence. Those fundamentals are what let you tell the difference between code that works and code that only looks like it works. They are not a chore you outgrew. They are your detector, and they make you dangerous in the best way. Number 8, hone your craft. Learn something new every single day. This sounds like a motivational poster, so let me make it concrete. The field is moving faster than it ever has, and that is the whole reason it is so much fun to be in right now. The tools you are good at today will be different in 6 months, which means the door is open for anyone willing to keep walking through it. So make it a literal habit. One new thing a day, a model capability, a corner of a system, a pattern you did not understand, not because it is virtuous, but because a little every day compounds into something nobody can catch. Your judgment is only as good as how current you are, and your judgment is the entire product now. The verification, the specs, the orchestration, all of it gets sharper the more current you stay. There has never been more worth learning, and never a better time to be the kind of developer who loves learning it. Number 9, the one I told you to wait for. Build your brand. This has 2 halves, and most developers do neither. The first half is your lane. If I ask what you are good at, and your answer is I learn fast, let's upgrade that, because the machine next to you learns infinitely faster, so I am adaptable is not a pitch anymore. You need a specific, nameable thing that you own that someone would come looking for you specifically to get. Mine is Microsoft and AI. When an enterprise needs agentic systems built right on the Microsoft stack, that is a short list and I am on it. That is a moat, and the best part is you get to choose what it is. Maybe it is payments infrastructure. Maybe it is making machine learning actually run in production. Maybe it is one industry you understand cold. It does not matter what. As long as it is real, it is yours, and it is not fast learner. The second half is the one developers love to skip, and it is where the leverage hides: visibility. Let's be honest, most of us lean introvert. We show up, do the work, go home. Nothing wrong with that, except the best lane in the world does nothing for you if nobody knows you have it. And no, you do not have to become a conference speaker or post hot takes all day. Two quiet moves do most of the work. First, volunteer strategically. Be the one who raises a hand first for the new project. You get seen as the go-getter, and you get to pick the interesting work instead of getting handed the scraps. Second, solve pain points. Every team has friction, and there is not a day that goes by where I do not think I could build something to make that faster. Be the person who notices it and quietly builds the little tool that kills it. Here is why your brand matters more in the AI era, not less. When general ability is everywhere, a reputation attached to a real human is the one thing that does not commoditize. Your brand is your specialty plus your visibility. Figure out the 3 words that come after your name, and then make sure the right people have heard them. Number 10, own the result, not the output. This is the mindset that ties all of it together, and it is the one that earns you trust faster than anything else. When code ships under your name, it does not matter whether you typed it or an agent did. You own it, all of it. And owning it is exactly what makes you someone worth betting on. The weakest sentence in software right now is the AI wrote it. A change is not done when the agent stops typing. It is done when it has been checked. The developers who get this, who treat the agent's output as a proposal, and themselves as the one accountable for what goes out, are the ones companies hand the keys to. Be the human who is responsible. That is the role that only gets more valuable from here, and it is yours for the taking. So that is the whole list. 10 skills, 1 idea underneath all of them. AI did not reduce the need for great developers. It handed them the biggest lever the craft has ever had. The work that is left is the most interesting work in the whole job. Verify, specify, direct, and own the outcome. There has never been a more exciting time to be a developer, young or old, as long as you are willing to grow into it. None of this requires extraordinary talent. All of it requires intentional effort, and the door is wide open right now. So pick one of these, start today, and go build the best work of your career. If this was useful, subscribe. I am putting out a lot more on building and leading in the AI era, and I would hate for you to miss it. Now go have some fun out there.